Hi, so my name's Tim from Jim's Handyman, and I'm going to show you an interesting little trick today, how to fix a plaster hole in a wall. This tip is a little bit different to the other methods that you may have seen, but it's really good, especially if you've got different sized plaster thicknesses. So what we're going to do first off is on our little hole here, we're going to now drill a bigger hole and plug it. And let me show you how we do that. Here's a handy little template that I carry around with me in the back of my truck. You can see it's got different size holes in it. That's for the different sizes that you need, and they also fit my hole saw. So first off, what we're going to do is place this over the hole and find the right size. Then, using the hole saw in the drill, we're going to drill out that hole a bit bigger. Holding it tightly. Right, as you can see, we've now made the hole a bit bigger. Now, we'll go outside and I'll show you how to cut the plug that will actually fit in that hole. Okay, so now that we're outside, what we're going to do is actually cut a sizable hole. It's a little bit bigger than the hole that we cut in there because we need the excess paper that's around this piece of plaster. So again, using my template, placing it over the plaster, I can surmise that we probably should have a square about so big. There's our square. Now you don't have to be precise and exact with this. Something similar to that, bigger than the hole, will do the job. Next, we're actually going to partly drill the way through this piece of plaster. Let me show you what I mean. As you can see on the plaster, there's actually paper on the outside and on the inside. So we want to keep the outside paper on the plasterboard. So we don't want to drill all the way through using our hole saw. We want to stop just before we get to the paper, which is about, I'd say, a good 2/3 of the way through the plasterboard. Drill through our plasterboard. Now, this is a little bit fiddly and can take some time, and you may have to do several cuts. But what we're going to do is actually score the back of the paper and then break away the excess plaster. Okay, now this is where you've got to be really careful. Snapping the plasterboard away, but keeping the paper intact. We carefully peel the plasterboard away from the paper. There we have it, exactly what we need. Now we can go back inside, put this in the hole. Okay, so what I've done now is I've actually mixed up some base coat 45. This will form the basis of our adhesive. Now, because what we've done is we've actually cut the plug out, and the plug size is actually smaller than what the hole is, just with the diameter of the hole blade. That gives us something that the base coat 45 and the plasterboards can actually stick to. So now it's just a matter of making sure we get a good coat around the edge of the hole. Get a good seal around that hole. Then we also want to make sure that we back the back of the paper that we've cut away. And again, just giving it a good coating all the way around. So now that we've applied our base coat 45, which is just a nice, thick, creamy consistency, just with some water, we're now ready to plug that into the hole. Here we go. Making sure that fits in there nicely. Okay. And once that's in there, we're going. Now it's just a matter of smoothing out all of the base coat 45 that's underneath and making sure we've got a good adhesion. Okay, that's it for the first step. Now we're going to let that set off and dry, and then we're going to come back and we'll show you how to finish it off. Okay, now we've let our patch dry, which is typically about 24 hours, we're ready to do the next step. We're going to give it a light sand, and then we're going to overfill it with the second coat. So just giving it a light sand, making sure that we're getting rid of all of the lumps and bumps that we can feel, just with running our hand over it, just to make sure that we've got it somewhat smooth. Okay, so now what we want to do is just start filling in the area and getting rid of all the consistencies, just start making it nice and smooth. So again, we've mixed up some more base coat, and we're just going to apply that over and start smoothing it out. Starting in the middle and just working out towards the ends. You're not going to get this perfect, and you don't want it to be. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to sand it back, make it nice and smooth, and then apply our finishing coat over the top of that. But first, we've got to let this dry. Okay, so now that we've had our second base coat dry off now, we can give this a quick sand, put on a final finishing coat, let that dry, and then we should be almost ready to go, ready for painting. Okay, so all we want to do here is primarily just give it a sand, make sure that our edges are nicely feathered out and nice and smooth. The best way to do that is just lightly run your hand over it, and you'll feel if there's any lumps, bumps or dints that you need to get rid of. If there is, just give it another bit of a sand and feather it out. Now that that's ready, we can now put our top coat on. Okay, so now it's just a matter of applying our top coat like we did before, from the middle out and just feathering it out nice. I've got my nice broad knife here, and we'll just apply it on. When you're applying this, you want to make sure that your coverage is past the other two coats that you've done. So you just want to go that little bit wider, top, bottom and the sides. Let that dry off, another quick sand, we're ready for undercoating and painting. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed these tips from Jim's Handyman. Hey, if you've got something that you think would be interesting or a problem that you'd like us to solve, send it in or put it in the comments below. And if you need a Jim's Handyman, give us a call on 131 546.